Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Jack and I'm the Avid assistant. Now in this one we're just going to be going through 14 new features that have came about since the new Avid UI change. I know there's plenty of people who still haven't made the switch, or they might be in an earlier version. I know there's plenty of you who still haven't made the switch, and I know there's still a lot of controversial feelings towards the new Avid, but these features that I'm going to list today are just very good additions, very useful features that have personally saved me a lot of time and been very useful. Now, as always, in the video description down below, I'm going to have chapter markers so you can jump to any one of these features and scroll along the video. I know my videos can be a little bit long, so if you want to jump to where you need to go, that's fine. And also in the video description, I'm going to have all of these features listed, as well as listing the Avid Media Composer version that they first released on. So you'll be able to quickly tell if this feature is available to you on the version you're currently on, since I know many people can't upgrade at will, and there might not be a valid reason to, the OS might not support it. So you'll be able to at least see whether or not these features are currently available to you in the Avid that you're using. Right guys, so really hope you enjoyed the video, and let's dive right into it for the first feature. Right, so to show what we can do with bulk edit, I've created a new column here called bulk edit test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the information from my disk label here, which is the title of the project, come and get it. I'm going to remove all the spaces, and I'm going to capitalize the first letter of all those words. Then I'm going to have an underscore, and then I'm going to have the slate information. And I'm also going to remove the .new.01. And there's 56 clips here, but I'm going to show you how quickly we can do that. So first of all, I'm going to select this column and do bulk edit, and now you'll see here we've got a whole bunch of options. So over on the right here first, we're getting a live preview. So I've got name the column, just sort of to show you the clips you're looking at, the column that you're editing, bulk edit test, and then modified value. This is going to show you the live preview of what it will look like when you hit commit at the end here. Bulk edit test is empty at the moment, and it'll stay empty throughout this process. But if you already had data in there, that would be shown here. Up here, we can also see the column that we're modifying and what items we are changing. So it's currently set to all bin items, but you can change that just to your selection if you want to just edit a few of these at a time, or half the bin, or even just all the subclips, or just the sequences. You have all the options. So I'm going to go back to all bin items, and then down here there's three main options that we have for bulk edit. The first is specific text, so that would allow us to add in specific text to all of the columns. Wait, don't want to do that just now. Another one is a counter, so I could have this going up, counting up. So starting from 1, just going up. You can set how many digits there are. Say if I wanted 10, or if I only wanted 3. And now say you had VFX shot numbers and you wanted these to start at 1010. Well, you could have your starting value as 1010. You could have your number of digits be 4 always, and increment by 10 each time. Then it's going to rename each shot 10,010, 1020, 1030, 1040, and so on. So very handy, but not what I'm after right now. So I'm going to use the last option, which is column data. So I'm copying data from another column into my bulk edit test. So I'm going to add data from disk label, come and get it. But since I'm removing all those spaces, I want to capitalize the first letter of each of those words. So change case down here. I'm just going to change that to this option here, and now we're capitalizing the first letter of every word. But that's not all I want added in. I also want the name column copied in after it. So we add another option onto the string. This time I am going to do specific text, and I'm going to put in an underscore. So I was going to put that at the end. And then add another option in the string. I'm going to do column data again, and add text from column name. And I'm not going to do anything to change the case there. So this is what we're going to be left with at the moment. So I'm going to hit commit, And we can see what we've got here. So we've got come and get it underscore and then the slate information. But it's got this .new01 and I've still got those spaces there. So the way we'll quickly get rid of that is to select our column again and go right click, find and replace. And now we can replace all those spaces with nothing. And we can also replace the .new.01 with nothing. And now we have a much tidier list of information of just come and get it underscore and their slate information. Now find and replace is also dynamic based on selection in the bin here as well. So I'll just show you briefly just how much. So if I put in the find column just a 1, you'll see it's highlighting all the ones that I'm about to change, but only in this top row here because I've got this first clip selected, and over here I've set it to selection. And this will stay locked while we're in find and replace. Our selection won't change. You can't go back and forth and change it. So you just got to come out of your find and replace. You can select a different set of clips and bring up find and replace with a right click there. And now it's selecting all of these ones. Now you can select any number of clips. While I'm in here, I can change that selection to all bin content if I want. And I can also come out of here, and as we're doing in the example, I can select any one of these columns and then run my find and replace up there by right clicking in the column header and going find and replace there, and I can replace all the information in one particular column. And you can see from this example, one will be highlighted orange out of all of the found ones that I've searched for. Now that will be the first one that it'll replace if I just hit replace, and then it highlights the next one. I can just continue on like that, or which is probably going to be more common, you can just hit replace all and they'll all be gone. And of course you can also manually select these as well if you're just looking to replace one of them. Well, with these two arrows here, you can cycle through them. Just look for the one that you were looking to get and hit replace there with, and replace it with whatever you like. Now, if you were just looking to replace one character from one word somewhere, I would suggest just limiting your selection as much as possible, because reduce the possibility of human error, and it will help you to cycle through to the character you're trying to replace a bit faster. So this is invaluable for assistant editors, VFX editors, people who are collating mass amounts of metadata for a lot of clips at once, and the ability to make those edits. This is an amazing feature. Say you use bin coloring, like I do, to keep track of stuff. So this one I've colored green here. If you're browsing your bin up and down here, then you can live see the colors as these little icons here. So this kind of grayish color has been used quite a few times on this particular project, which I've inherited. But this one, which is colored green, is down here. So you can live see the color coding of a bin before you even open it. So say you could mark a bin not to use by coloring it red or something. So if I change this one, I'll go set background color to this kind of reddy color here. It live changes. And then without even opening the bin, I can tell, yeah, I don't want to use that. Or you just have that color coding option and live preview there for you to use for whatever methodology you like. It's great. Now, staying in that vein, say you don't like having your bin background colored, but you like having it colored in the project window there and up in your tabs. Well, you've got that option too. Within your settings, if you go to your interface settings and then tab over to bins, you can see down here that there's this option under allow custom bin backgrounds to use bin background color only on tabs. So if I select this and hit apply, You can see the color goes away from the background if you don't want it there, but it'll be maintained in the tabs and you'll be able to spot it nice and easy. And if I drag out my bin here, we've still got that coloring in our project window as well. Nice. Now, another really awesome feature that you have in the new Media Composer is poster frames. So this is just nice, it's not essential, but if you have a whole bunch of Avid projects available to you, then you get a nice little preview poster frame of it, and you can look at it visually, since we are visual people. As well as seeing all this lovely metadata information we're selecting our project, we can also see a thumbnail now. And this is set by when you're in your project. You load up any clip or sequence in one of your monitors, and then just right-clicking on the monitor and selecting Save as Project Poster Frame. So if I do that on this one, it says Project Poster Frame already exists. Do you want to overwrite it? So I'll overwrite that just now. And then if I jump back to Project Selection and see, there it is. Another great feature to do with titles. If we have a Titler Plus title made and it's in a bin, if you look at it in frame view, we now get thumbnails. We can see what the title looks like before dropping it on, or saved preset titles. In our command palette, we've now got a search function. So say I want the toggle source record, but I can't remember where it is under what tab. If I just type toggle, and there's a whole bunch of options came up. Toggle source record, that's the one I want. So you can use this to very quickly find the effect that you want. This will be particularly useful for people newer to Media Composer who don't instinctively remember where everything is. It's great, that is so useful, long overdue, but very thankful for it. Avid has now got support for both exporting and linking to H.265 HEVC codecs. So that means all those clips that you've been sent from people recorded on iPhones, you can ingest them, and you can also export to that codec as well and get those smaller file sizes. It's great. Now, this feature I'm going to show you is called the bin map. Now, as you can see, I've got a Rushes bin here, and we're in text view, but I'm going to jump over to frame view up here. You can see I've got a whole bunch of clips here, roughly organized by camera setup. Now, this one isn't too bad to scroll up and down, but if you had one that was even longer than this with a whole lot of shots, then finding what you're looking for, especially if you were growing further off screen to the right, and I think my longest row is about up to here, then trying to find your clip could be a little bit cumbersome. So we now have this lovely little tool to help us called the bin map, which is up here. I'll just make it a bit bigger just by clicking and dragging the edge there, and we get a little overlay view of our bin, and we've got a wireframe of the portion of the bin that we're currently looking at, and we can even see the thumbnails of the individual clips and our coloring of the clips as well. So very easy for me to quickly find what I'm looking for. If you're just visually, you just judge by the frames. If you love to work in frame view, you don't ever like to judge by text. This is a really very helpful way to look for your clips. And if you just go to your fast menu in the bin, you can show and hide this to your heart's content. Now, we all do have our own way of working, of sorting our bins out and aligning them in our neat little rows, but we've now also got this nice new feature in the fast menu that will allow us to just click, drag, and snap clips directly to an invisible grid. In the context menu here, just go snap the grid and enable that, and you get a lovely grid that you can visually see and reference behind, and then you'll also get a live selection in the background showing you exactly where your frame is going to snap to. You can drag that along. will make populating rows like this nice and easy if you feel like doing it manually, or if one gets out of place and you just want to fix it. Neat. And you can turn this on and off. You can also have your snapping to grid available without seeing the grid. You have a few options there. So under snap to grid, you can disable it, you can temporarily disable it, or you can make it invisible but it's still working. So the grid's gone, but I can still see the highlighted frame where it's going. Yeah, neat. That's quite handy. Right, now while I'm in this Russia's bin here, I've got a fair few clips, and previously, say if I wanted to see quickly how many clips I had in this scene 7 here, the way that I used to do this manually would be to highlight them all and then hit the delete key, and it would show me how many clips that I'm thinking about deleting. I'm sure you can all agree this is a little bit dodgy and risky, not ideal, but you can see I've got 29. Now, Avid's added a very handy new feature down here called bin status, where we can have a live readout of all the clips that are in the bin. And this is dynamic based on what's selected as well. So you can see it currently says viewing 33 of 33. So I am looking at 33 of 33 clips. So if I was to sift out some clips to hide them, so I'm going to say begins with 7. So just apply it to that. Don't know why I didn't hide that one, but there you go. It says we're now viewing 30 out of 33 because it's hidden 3 of them. But it still lets us know that there's a few still there. Now I'm going to reveal all again, and then I'll just show you how contextual this live readout here and how useful it is. I'm going to select just these generic clips at the bottom here, and then you can see we get more information pops up. So I'm viewing 33 of 33. I've got 4 selected, and it even tells me the duration of those 4 clips. So you can get very handy, very quick readouts of clips that are in your bin right here in the list view, without having to put them on a sequence or hit a delete key or bring up an inspector or anything like that. It's quite neat, quite handy, and especially useful for counting clips. Now, like the bin map, we now also have a very similar map for navigating around the sequence. So if you're zoomed all the way in, you don't need to zoom out and scroll along to find the bit you're looking for. Especially, this is going to be especially handy if it's a particularly long timeline, like a series, 1-hour series episode or a feature film. And this is what it looks like down here. Again, very similar to our bin map. And we can drag our currently viewed area up and down our audio tracks and our video tracks, and we'll get a live visual readout. So if you're quite visually familiar with what your timeline looks like from scrolling along, you'll be able to just visually find where you need to go, especially if you've got all your clips color coded as they should be, and then you'll be able to really find them quickly. Just kidding, that's just how I like to work. Do have you like? It's a very handy feature. It can be found up here in the timeline menu and hide sequence map. I've got this mapped to a key just by menu to button reassignment, so I can flick it on and off just whenever I need it. And very handy. It's nice. I appreciate that little touch. Now, another thing that's new to the newer versions is the ability to map sync to all tracks to a key. So, don't know how many times you've found yourself having to click in the timecode data track here to be able to sync and unlock all tracks, but we can now do this with a single keystroke. And you will find that in the command palette. So you bring up your command palette and sync all tracks. It's down here, just under the edit tab. Our audio mixer has been updated so that it now dynamically expands and contracts as you resize the window, which is particularly nice with the new docking. So it will fit nicely in any space that we throw it in. Now, not a major change, but it's nice, particularly as you can now have very tall sliders for making more minute adjustments. Right, this next feature I'm going to show you I haven't actually tested yet, but Avid now does allow us to have up to 99 video tracks and 99 audio tracks, should you ever feel the desire to have quite so many, but you can. So here goes. I'm going to test it live just by button bashing my add new track keys. So here we go, I'll do video first. Past 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 99. Hit the maximum number of video tracks. That's insanely long. Yes, I know I bashed the button too many times. Right, now I'll jump back down to the bottom, and why not? Let's push the threshold. I am bashing the key. And the maximum number of audio tracks. So scroll all the way down there, you can see live demonstration, folks. 99 audio tracks, and scrolling all the way up, 99 video tracks. There it is. You've got plenty of options to have a crazy big timeline. Right, now this other feature I'm going to show you is potentially one of my favorite things that I would have added in quite a long time, just for doing VFX editing and remote work as well, and sending Avid media to someone. This is just really, really helpful. So I'll start off by showing how I would use it. So quite often when I go to send some Avid media to someone so they can rebuild the cut at their end. So the best way to do this in Avid is by going to export the timeline and then create a AAF preset that is set to just copy all the media, and then just make sure you copy it to a folder, use the same folder as the AAF, and then wherever you point this to, you can render all your tracks and effects on the way out. Now wherever you point this to, you will create an AAF, but you'll also have all of the Avid media that's referenced in that timeline copied with it. And then you can just send all the Avid media to someone, they can rebuild it at their end. I'm sure many of you know this, it's common enough, it's been done before. But the new feature in question, what's been added here, is this really lovely tick box here, which is asked to exclude video media from a previous sequence. Right, and I'll show you what this lovely option will do on the way out here. So we're going to tick that, and we're going to tick it in audio as well. And then when we go, I'll just save this as a preset. Just be like, say, AF updated media. Updated. And then when I go to export this sequence, this edit 5 of this sequence, I'm just going to back temp in here. Then when I hit save, it's going to give me this window to select the sequence. And what that'll do is allow us to point to a previous sequence. You'll just need to have the bin open. And so say this is edit 5 that I'm exporting. So I could compare it to, say, edit 4 that I had previously done. And it's going to compare it, and then it's only going to render out the media that's new to this newer version. So it won't bother copying all the media for the last sequence that you've already sent. You can only send what's new, and then as long as you keep a record within Avid, within your sequences of which ones you've already sent the media for, then Avid will allow you to compare the two and only send the new media. So this is just really awesome. So if you're an assistant and either you or your editor is working from home, this will be an invaluable tool for sending them Avid media to their local station to help update them. It is really useful, awesome. Thank you very much, Avid. Love it. Right, now that's my summary of 14 really useful features that have come about in Avid Media Composer since June 2019 when the new UI came about. Now this video is recorded using Avid Media Composer 2022.4, so everything will be accurate up to that time. If there's a whole slew of new features that come in the future, as I'm sure there will be, I'll make another video covering those. But for now, this is up to that point. I'm also going to have linked down in the video description some other features that I didn't cover that have been released in the same time frame, as well as maybe some links to videos from the Avid YouTube channel and things like that, going through those so that you can get a handle on those as well. For example, in the latest iteration of 2022.4, we got SRT support, which is awesome. And that's not to do with subtitling, that is secure, reliable transport. So this is sending your Avid output across the net, encrypted securely for someone to view live. Maybe you and your director are working in different places remotely, and they'll be able to just view your Avid output as you work. Super useful. So I'll have Avid's video going through that linked down below. So thanks everybody for watching. If there was something here that was useful to you, then please give the video and the page a like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll see you here for the next one. Thanks.